My name is Nano, and I'm a 30-year-old office worker. This is Rina, my sister, who's 8 years younger than me. Who'd have thought that you'd become a mom first?
Trust me, I'm just as surprised as you are.
My younger sister didn't find a job after graduating college, and she was loosely working part-time jobs when she found out that she was pregnant. She had a shotgun wedding with her boyfriend and quit her part-time job to become a full-time housewife. My sister and I had a pretty large age gap between us, and because our mother passed away shortly after my sister was born, our father was never around to begin with. Our relationship was less like siblings, but more like a mother and daughter. My sister and her husband lived within walking distance from my house, and on her daily walks with her big belly, she would often come over to my house to visit. 2 months later, my sister gave birth to a beautiful baby girl.
I can't wait to grow out her hair and be able to style it.
She seemed really excited. Her husband was also thrilled, and despite both of them being quite young, they were going to be great parents. Or so I thought. 1 month after the baby was born, unforeseen circumstances changed everything. It all started one night just as I was about to crawl into bed with my husband. Rina? Calling at this time of night. Did something happen? Hello?
Nano, help!
Even through the phone, I could tell that my sister was in a state of panic. Rina? What's wrong? What's happened?
Hannah, she's convulsing. Her entire body is convulsing and she's not responding to her name or anything.
What? Have you called an ambulance?
Nano, please help me!
I'll be right there. Hang on. My sister didn't seem like she was able to call an ambulance, so I hung up and immediately called 911 first, before driving to her house with my husband.
Nano!
My niece Hannah was just as Rina had described. Her body was seizing and convulsing, and she had gone completely pale. Shortly after, we heard the ambulance arrive, and the 1-month-old Hannah was taken straight to hospital. We thought it might have been heat cramps, but after the hospital ran some tests, the doctor named a disease that none of us had ever heard of before.
We believe your daughter has Ohtahara epileptic syndrome.
Ohtahara epileptic syndrome?
Ohtahara epileptic syndrome is a rare type of epilepsy seen in infants, usually in newborn babies within 3 months of birth. The main symptoms are seizures, more prominently in one part of the body or in clusters, and developmental challenges in both motor and cognitive functions.
There's a treatment for this, right? She's gonna get better, right?
Unfortunately, the root cause for Ohtahara epileptic syndrome is still unknown, and there is yet to be a cure for it.
How can this be?
From that day on, my sister's life made a 180 for the worse. For a while, she was going to her daughter's bedside in hospital every day, but when her husband found out about the baby's condition, his attitude suddenly changed. On the first day of Hannah's seizures, he was nowhere to be found, so I found that odd already, but it turns out he was doing very well that day, enjoying his night at his cheating partner's house.
Disabled? There's no way it's my child!
He threw down divorce papers and left the house. My sister became so depressed that she couldn't even go into hospital to see her own daughter. In the meantime, my husband and I would take turns to check on my sister and our niece, but even after Hannah was discharged from the hospital, my sister would always be at our house. When I thought about how she must be feeling, I could understand why she didn't want to be home alone, but her behaviour started to become worse and worse. Rina? Where are you right now? You just left Hannah alone.
I told you I was going out tonight and I asked you to watch her for me.
What time do you think it is? I never said I would watch her through the night.
Like 1 a.m?
Hurry up and come home now.
I'm not coming home tonight.
You know you did this too last week, staying out all night and coming home in the morning.
And so what? You know I'm still 23 years old. I'm in my prime. Let me have some fun.
What about Hannah, your daughter?
You're there with her, so what's the issue?
Oh, you idiot, you're her mother. You need to act like it.
A girl with such a disability? She's not mine. I don't want her.
What? How can you say that about your own baby?
Everything was going well until we got married. I mean, I knew my husband was having fun outside, but he was so good to me at home. But then Hannah came along and everything went down the drain. My husband left me. She's never gonna get better, and she's way more work than any other kid. She ruined everything.
Even then, she's your baby, a life you created.
I never asked for this.
You idiot, you stupid girl. I'm not gonna pretend like I know anything you're going through, but my husband and I are doing my best to support you because we love you and Hannah. You've been living out of our house and we've just let you. You know you're not alone in this. Anyway, you should just come home now.
Nano, you can never understand how I feel, how much pain I'm in. Just leave me alone.
Rina?
If you want to act like such a perfect angel, then you can be Hannah's mom.
Rina, pick up the phone! Rina! After that day, my sister blocked me and I wasn't able to get a hold of her. The next day, and the day after that, my sister left our daughter Hannah at our house and didn't come home. At that time, Hannah was still in her first year. With or without her condition, it's a period that's troublesome and requires a lot of attention from the mother. We had no choice but to do our best with raising Hannah, despite her mother being nowhere to be found. Up until she had disappeared, Rina had taken care of Hannah throughout the day, and in the mornings and nights my husband and I would help out. Once Rina was gone, it wasn't that simple. Luckily, both my husband and I had jobs that allowed us to work from home a few days a week, so with this help we were able to trade days being home with Hannah. I thought my sister would come to her senses in about a week, but 2 weeks went by, then 3 weeks, 1 month, and yet we didn't hear a word from her. Masayoshi, I'm so sorry. This was between my sister and me, but you've been roped into it too. You didn't ask to do this. My husband was a kind soul. He hated crooked people and had a strong sense of justice. He had been helping me out with this situation without a single complaint the entire time.
It's not your fault, Nano. You don't need to apologize.
Yeah, but it's my sister, and we don't even have a child of our own, and yet...
Nano, look!
My husband was brushing his hand through Hannah's hair as she slept calmly in his arms.
How could I be upset by a sweet little baby that's this cute?
My husband's warm smile and kindness brought me to tears.
I'm not going to say that I'm not angry. I can't believe that Rina would push all of the responsibility of being a mother onto you and disappear like this. But I guess she couldn't accept this, and she must have been struggling too.
Does that mean I should be able to forgive her?
I'm not resentful, but if she were to get into some kind of trouble, I don't think I would be willing to help her any further.
I agreed with my husband. He put it perfectly. In that moment, I fully decided to embrace the role of being Hannah's mother and formally asked my husband to help me raise Hannah as her parents. And I have nothing but gratitude for my amazing husband. 7 years went by. Hannah, let's dry your hair. My sister never returned, but she had always talked about growing out her daughter's hair, and I hadn't cut it, and now Hannah had beautiful long locks. Whenever I would dry her hair, Hannah would love it, and then I would tie her silky long hair into any hairstyle and show her in the mirror, and she would become even more happy. She is a little girl after all. Because Otahara epileptic syndrome delays the development of motor and cognitive functions, Hannah still can't walk or eat by herself. She struggles to chew her food and swallow, so we put the food in a blender to make it into a paste and spoon feed it to her. Making her food and feeding her, and making sure she takes all her medicine, takes about 2 hours in total. We repeat this 3 times a day, and on top of that, we need to accompany her to the bathroom and take baths with her too. I try to get through my work when she's napping in the day, or late at night when she's asleep. When I started looking after her, I was working from home half the week, but ever since I decided to become her mom, the company allowed me to work fully remote, and with my husband's help I did everything I could to raise Hannah. She may not have grown inside of me, but she still was completely my child. My husband and I didn't have children of our own, so I felt this was a destined sign from above, and I continued to pray for Hannah's happiness as we raised her as her parents. As for my sister that was somewhere in the wind, I'd heard a rumour sometimes that she would be back in town, but every single time, she would have a different man on her arm and disappear into the night. I had no intention of standing up for my sister, who had thrown away her own child, but at the same time, I couldn't understand why she was throwing away her own life like this after doing all this just to get her independence back. That being said, I wanted nothing to do with her anymore, and wasn't expecting to see her ever again. Just as I was feeling this way, an incident occurred. I heard a scream from Hannah, who should have been napping. Her voice pierced through the walls into the study where I was working. Hannah? It was a blood-curdling scream that was different to anything that I heard her before, and I got up and ran straight to her room. On my way there, standing there was none other than Rina.
Hey there, long time no see.
I couldn't believe it, but it was my younger sister Rina standing in the hallway. She immediately hid what she was holding in her hands behind her back, as her eyes started swimming to avoid eye contact. What do you think you're doing here, breaking into my house like this? Why are you here?
As a mother, of course I'm gonna be worried about my daughter, and I'm gonna want to check on her, right?
Your eyes are all over the place. Show me what you're hiding behind your back.
It's nothing at all. Bye then.
Hey, stop right there.
Take this. See ya.
Hannah. I was pulled back into reality by Hannah's wailing voice and ran into her room. What I saw there was a catastrophe. Hannah! Your hair! The hair that we had been growing so preciously for 7 years had been aggressively chopped off. Was that what she was hiding behind her back? It was Hannah's hair. But even then, why? Why would she do this? I went online to see if I could find anything, and the reason soon became clear. I noticed that the small electronics and my jewellery was missing from my house, which made me realise that my sister must be in need of money. That's right, my sister had come in to cut precious Hannah's hair so that she could sell it. The buying price was a few bucks at most, for just a few dollars. How could she?
No.
I couldn't take it anymore. I was so overcome with anger that I decided to file a police report for the stolen items in this incident. However, because this was a situation between family, and the person who cut her hair was her real mother after all, there wasn't much that could be done. I went home, and my husband and I decided to come up with a strategy in case she were ever to try something like this again. I got straight into action. But during that time, perhaps from the stress caused by my sister, I was starting to feel unwell and was often lying down.
No, let's go to the doctor.
But I don't have a fever or anything.
That's exactly why. What if it's something worse? I need you. I can't lose you. Then I won't be able to survive.
My husband convinced me to get out of bed, and we headed to the hospital together. I was shocked by the words that came out of my doctor's mouth. That same night, I heard from my sister.
Hey, Nano, I've rang the doorbell so many times by now. Let me in.
You have some nerve trying to contact me after everything you've done.
Why are you so mad? Surely you can forgive me. It was just a cute little prank from your sister.
A cute little prank. What part of chopping off my daughter's hair like that is cute? There's nothing cute about it, and it's certainly not a prank.
It was so long. It must have been annoying for her anyway.
How dare you? You clearly don't even remember what you said yourself when she was born.
Huh? Did I say something? I don't recall.
Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, what do you want? What are you doing here?
I was thinking I could stay the night here.
Nope.
Why not?
I can't even imagine being stuck under the same roof as a criminal who chopped off my daughter's precious hair. And I'm going to ask you once and only once. What did you do with that stuff you took without asking me?
Well, I guess you could say I don't have it with me right now.
Pawn shop, huh?
Oh, how'd you know?
I had heard little whispers that you were struggling with money anyway.
Well, those whispers were a few steps ahead. Hey, Nano, you don't have to let me inside the house, but at least let me borrow some money.
Nope.
Why not? You know I can't even get a meal for myself today.
That's not my problem. Why don't you get a job and earn some money then?
I was working part-time, you know, but, well, it wasn't really going anywhere.
Well, if you're clearly trading a different man day after day, surely they wouldn't be too happy about it either.
No, that's not it. I did have a lot of partners, but they all ended up getting married to their real partners, and now I'm left alone.
Don't be so arrogant.
Hey, you know how you're still looking after Hannah for me? If you're able to look after a kid with a disability, then surely I'll be easier to take care of and you can look after one more able-bodied person.
At that moment, I felt something snap inside of me. That's enough. Are you kidding me?
Don't be so mad. You know it's the truth.
Hannah, the daughter that you threw away, despite having a disability where she can't do a lot of things on her own, she smiles every single day and tries her best to live a positive and happy life. You have no idea how hard it's been for us, and for her, but you've also no idea how rewarding and amazing it's been to see her smile like that, and you'll never understand it, will you? And yet, you, with fully capable arms and legs, you have the ability to do whatever you want, and yet all you care about is yourself and your money. You're just a parasite who leeches onto people, and don't you dare compare your pathetic self with my daughter like that.
Are you trying to tell me I'm beneath that girl?
It's not even a comparison. I wouldn't dare disrespect my daughter by comparing her to you. By all things, you're not my sister anymore. You're not my family, and I want nothing to do with you. Go and survive on your own.
But you can't do this to me. I need money. How am I supposed to live? Until you give me some money, I'm gonna stay here right in front of your house and make your life hell. Wait, why are the police here?
Of course they're here.
Did you call the police, Nano?
Perhaps it was the neighbours, because we don't live there anymore.
What?
We moved, so that we'd never be bothered by you again.
You're joking, right? Where did you move?
As if I would ever tell you.
No, I hate this. Nano, stop joking with me. You're the only person I can rely on. You're all I have.
And Hannah had only you to rely on as a newborn baby, and yet you threw her away. I have absolutely no intention of helping a piece of trash like you.
What? How could you? I'm gonna be arrested. Nano, help me.
What goes around comes around, Rina. And this is what you get for being so selfish. Figure it out yourself.
No!
Rina was then taken away by the police and brought in for questioning. She wasn't arrested for any crimes, and was released shortly after, but things only got worse from there. Apparently, after Rina had thrown away her daughter and ran away from us, she actually reunited with her ex-husband, the one that threw them both away, and they got together in a domestic partnership. They had some confusing relationship where they could mess about as much as they wanted whilst living together. But then she found out that her ex-husband used her name to borrow money from some scary people before disappearing into thin air. My sister had nowhere else to turn to, and that's when she came back to us. In the end, both my sister and her ex-husband were caught by those scary people, and now they're working side by side. Happily ever after? From morning until night until they pay back that debt. I wonder if they'll ever see the light of day again. As for me and my family... Look, Sakura! This is your sister! Hana, that's your little sister Sakura. The reason I had been feeling unwell was actually from morning sickness. Now my daughter was born safely, and we're a happy family of 4. Hana was also so excited to welcome her younger sister. Some people may worry that our love for Hana would thin out after giving birth to a child of our own, but that would never be the case. Nothing can change the fact that both Sakura and Hana are my 2 precious daughters, and I'm so excited to continue growing as a family of 4.